Welcome back to Not My Time channel on this lovely Sunday evening after all the Premier League games have obviously been done now, and obviously after all the games we're in the league, which I mean, to be honest with you, do you really care about being top of the league right now? Not necessarily, but it's the fact that of 2 games, 2 wins, I'd say 2 very good performances so overall. Obviously, you wouldn't say it's perfect yesterday after what to win 4-1 at home. But I think what we saw yesterday was the indicator that we're sort of going in the right direction. I think going forward, we're starting to get that kind of connection. Obviously, slowly but surely, with the wingers, obviously the striker. But yeah, it's good. It's actually it's really refreshing to sort of see a different kind of style of forward line. I think the midfield will start getting there. Obviously, no Foden yesterday was obviously a real shame. But the fact that we're sort of starting to see a real system formation coming together is a great overall. But we've got to just see how it goes. Obviously, going to West Ham next week. Obviously, going obviously after the international break. Obviously, we'll be getting this week. Obviously, the last week of the window. So there's a lot of stuff still up in the air before we decide what's obviously the main target for this year. But of course, as the title says, Haaland got his 10th City hat trick, and of course, I had to wear a Norway shirt because the man is absolutely unbelievable. 10th City hat trick. Is it 7 or something? Was it 7 or 8 Premier League hat tricks now in his third season? Now it's ridiculous. A hat trick every 10 games is ridiculous, and I just think what he's achieved so far in this league for us and just overall in his career is ridiculous. Like I saw a stat where he's had more goals than Messi, Ronaldo does at 24. It's just crazy. I'm so pleased for him and how much he's developed obviously in these years since obviously first league and that. It's come a long way. I think there's so much to look forward to, so much to appreciate, and so much that take from obviously these games that we're seeing so far. Now, as part of this series called The Breakdown, like I say, it's not hashtag The Breakdown. So this will be a new sort of series of shows, obviously, that I'm going to do after, obviously, each game. Hopefully after obviously the actual game itself, but we'll see how it goes, obviously, depending on obviously when I'm free, whatever. Thanks, Harry, obviously, for top stream. I appreciate it. I'm not sure if I'm actually in the stream right now, watching it right now, but I appreciate the message earlier on. And big up Ryan as always, with my bro. All good to see you, obviously, in the streams. It's it's nice to sort of do a show obviously when I can. As I say, it's trying to get a schedule together when it will be. These kind of shows probably would depend on when I'm free. I mean, again, obviously, most time probably after the game or the day after the game. But this is going to be a series where I can sort of break down the game a little bit more thoroughly. Because obviously on the podcast on Tuesday, we'll obviously go through it together with both Alex and Danny when they're both here. But right now, I'm going to sort of go through it from what I saw from my point of view, and give you an idea of where I think was actually going correct, or going right. Obviously, where I think we actually improve overall. I'll just bear with me. I'm just going to get this game up and sort of get the actual lineups up. Just bear with me. That's really slow today. I don't know why it is, but loads up. I'll carry on talking. But yeah, I think overall I was quite impressed. Just the fact that despite going 1-0 down, obviously early on, which was to a really crap goal for being real here, but the fact is, it's not. I wouldn't say it's a major concern overall. I was a bit worried about it continued early on anyway, but the fact that we actually got back into it immediately afterwards obviously is a good sign. But we've got to obviously look into it as we can't really be doing that obviously to a team who obviously has better than Ipswich, and hopefully the player can sort of realise that and so make sure that we sort of trying to get that nullified before that happens again going forward. But I think the main thing is the actual performance overall was way better, and it's sort of masked that kind of mistake anyway, which is a positive. Hopefully it's loaded now. Let's come on. I'll share screen a bit when it's sort of that load's been reached slow today. Right, here we go. Right, I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to break down the game from my point of view, but we're actually going to sort of go over each of the players and what I've seen, and we'll go from there. So if I just want to hopefully this will load. There we go, that's better. There we go. Right, so we'll go over obviously the play in the game and also discuss whether Ash's performances overall were. And this is what we'll do at each show, sort of break down from what I saw obviously from each player, and we'll obviously go. Obviously, I couldn't actually watch the whole game. I also saw clips and what I've sort of seen, but I tried obviously find the actual. It's in highlights obviously of the game to sort of really obviously where we're going overall as a team. Obviously, the information that we're using right now under Pep. So before I carry on. So I do agree, yeah. Exactly. You know what, Ryan? On that, I'll go into that in a bit. But from what I saw of KDB, more in about him. People were sort of been saying about he's losing pace. Not the same player, and that he's obviously getting up to him. But from what I saw yesterday, it's not the case at all. He just looks a lot better. I think the way he sort of around the pitch as well, given that kind of free role, which what we obviously haven't seen from him before, it's really working well because it's giving Haaland and the wingers an outlet where they can sort of find De Bruyne in different pockets of the field, and then you start seeing a real danger. The other team's has got to try and read what we're going to do, and that's going to be difficult to see anyone going forward. And I felt that we can sort of diversify our route of attack. That's so important, obviously going forward this season. Obviously, good going on to the actual team itself. I'll go over it and sort of what I've seen personally. Ederson in goal, I thought it was fine. I mean, don't get me wrong, right? Has he been perfect overall this season? Last 2 games, no. But again, who really is at this point in the season? I mean, could he have saved that goal from Athletics? Possibly, but not really everything overall in the end. But I think it's kind of like, end of the day, right? If that doesn't go in, it's 4-5 anyway. So it isn't much of a big deal anyway. So we'll kind of that way. Kanji, Diaz, Vardy, I'll cover all 3 of these in one anyway. I think all 3 of them did a great job. His back 3 worked really well. I think it kind of sort of shows how it fits in. I think Vardy and Diaz, particularly as a partnership, worked really, really well. I want to see them both. As I said last year, I want to see both of them together more often. I think we'll start seeing that more and more this season as we get obviously into the season. In the development of that kind of partnership they've got, it's going to be very important for us, as we get obviously into towards obviously Europe and obviously Cup next year, Champions League. It's going to be important to sort of see that kind of partnership really blossom into something really, really important. So, yeah, I think overall, I thought the defense did a good job. I mean, it wasn't really up to much against Hudson, Delap, and Swansea. She weren't that good anyway themselves, apart from the goal. Didn't do much else apart from that anyway. It sort of go off of, but from what I saw, very promising. Shall we move missing anything at all so far? No, that's fine, no worries. Cool. On Rico Lewis and Kovacic. Now, Rico Lewis for me was brilliant again. This guy is so potential, obviously for his career. And this will be his breakout year. He's really sort of showing how good he is, obviously, on the pitch. He's really sort of showing that kind of athleticism, the ability to get around the pitch, be it on right back, defensive midfield, left back. He can be anywhere on that pitch, and that's so important because we haven't got someone like that really, apart from a Silva. So to have someone like that in the same team, especially a little triangle here with Savio, is so important. So I think for me, Rico, he really showed scored yesterday. He really shows. I mean, that first shot, it should have been a goal. It's quite poor from him, but again, it's not actually a goal scorer, so I can let him off for that. But we've got to try. I think if he can fine tune his goal ability, especially him sort of goes against the box, that'd really go a long way. But he's really showing how good he is this year. I'm so impressed with him. I really sort of kicks on this year and has more starts, obviously, and more games they add. I think it's just so underrated, especially with the era of Bellingham, obviously. And I'm not saying he's Bellingham level, but I'm saying he can be that level if he's given that more game time, given that more experience, obviously, in the team. And you're really seeing it now, especially how he plays and sort of how he sort of moves around the pitch. It's so important. Now, Kovacic again was brilliant. Obviously, if injured was a real shame. Apparently, he's okay, which was obviously good. But from what I've seen of him as well, it's really impressive. I think he's really sort of adding more to his game and was a bit more all round, up and down the pitch. Obviously, box midfielder. Someone obviously like Gundogan who can sort of, I wouldn't say as known for his goal scoring, but definitely well known for getting the passes off and actually controlling the flow of the game. That's what we need, obviously. Someone like that who can dictate the play, because we can get conversation good or someone like that in the midfield who can sort of help Rodri out and not give Rodri that much pressure. It would help us so much more. It was so much more going forward this season. But yeah, I thought these two were brilliant again yesterday. Did a very, very good job. Now onto the forward line. Now Bernardo Silva, I think I wouldn't say he was terrible yesterday. I think he's not a creative player. He's not a goal scorer, but he sort of gets in and works his arse off throughout the entire game. So I can't exactly say I mean, I thought he did a pretty good job. And look, the stats, the rating will say 6.2. But again, you've got to look at this. He's not that kind of player that's always going to score like 6 goals, but he will do it every now and again, obviously, when they're in position to do so. But I thought he had a pretty good game. Now, we'll go on to Kevin and Savio, who are both, again, very good games. We'll go on to Doku. Now, Jeremy Doku, for me, is an interesting one because I think there's been a lot of talk about him, obviously, this summer, about how, obviously, his ability to passing and shooting, obviously, and sort of his final ball, his final interaction on the play. That's one thing I've always said about he needs to try and work on because I think if he has the pace and the being on the fullback every time he plays, like Ben Johnson and Hamilton again. But I'm not about that. I'm not about the fullbacks. Stopping these two. These two here are brilliant, but we've got to look at it like this. Doku has really got to start showing more of when he has a chance to get your goal, take it. Final pass, take it. I'm sure that's a good one, obviously, on the bench. When Jack obviously coming on and sort of providing a little bit of impact, it'll help us obviously going forward this season. But I think we've got to look at it for Jeremy. He's really started that, I think, because I think for me, he has potential to really be a big player for us this season. And we got to probably give him time. But I think this season he's really got to show a bit more development overall in his game. I hope he will. I'm sure he will do. Obviously, the more he plays, but yeah, I think you can tell that he's really got to make sure he wants to lose the ball. 2 gets more goals and 3 gets more assists, obviously in that area. But I'm sure he'll do with more game time. But obviously, we'll see that. Obviously, going forward. Obviously, now to Savio. Now this guy Savio, I think Savio is just that kind of player that we haven't had since Mahrez, which obviously was like 2 years ago. Mahrez was the kind of player that sort of create anything out of nothing. Was very skillful. Didn't do a lot of pace, but he had the BC of a fullback every time. Like he knew how to get past him. He knew how to sort of use his range of skills, his gravity, that kind of skill set to his advantage. I think Savio is very good at that. He really provides that kind of level of skill that we haven't had on the wing for a good long while. I think these two on the wing, when they get obviously with Bob and Jack as well, we've got 4 wingers who can really provide something different on the wings. And that's going to be very important for us in any game. Like any game, you can have Grealish and Doku and Bob, you can have a variety of wingers or wing plays, wing options this season. That's going to be so important for us because any kind of game, you go to Anfield, Old Trafford, you have to go to Arsenal in the new year. So many opportunities for us to try things out. I'm looking forward to seeing what Pep decides to go with as we go on to the business end of the season when we start getting towards March, April, and then the big games start really piling up. But until then, I think Savio and Doku obviously are starting to grow up together as wing options. Obviously, both play left and right. It will come. From what I've seen so far, I'm pretty impressed. Doku got to see a little bit more of, but I'm sure we'll see more of that each game, obviously, going forward. But Savio, so impressive. Honestly, I'm really looking forward to see more of him at West Ham next week. I hope we start seeing him really sort of flourish more into the goals as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of him play, but he's been brilliant so far. Out of these two, the dynamic duo, the absolute machines, the Terminators of our team. We'll start with Kev. Now, Kev for me, brilliant. Again, he ran the show really. I feel like he's 33, is it now? He's just brilliant. Has that ability on the ball. He sort of has got a lot of strength, but he has the ability to sort of hold players. Actually quite quick for someone obviously of his age. He can sort of keep going and sort of manage his speed, but also manage his runs, and that's so important for him because I think, especially certain games like Real Madrid, if they played in the Champions League this year, Barcelona, Bayern, whoever we do actually play in Europe this year, he'll be so important for them games because he provides that final ball, especially for that third goal to Haaland, to just get that ball on the money, to Haaland, get past Muric, and for that third goal. He's so important for us, and I'd be giving him another deal. I hope we do, because I think he still has a lot more to like provide us. I think people don't understand that. Yes, he's 33, 34 next year, but he still has so much more of his skill set that he can still provide for us, even like back here to where Kovacic is, if needs be. But he can still do that at 33. I think that is something that we did that not many, but nobody's actually have. Obviously, done that like Modric and that, obviously still playing for Real Madrid. But what Kev has is so good. He's so reliable in that area. I'm so pleased we've still got him for this season. I hope we give him. I hope we give him another deal. Obviously, for at least 2 more years. But what an assist! Also good finish as well for the second goal. I think Savio has actually worked really to sort of get past, obviously get to more towards Miric. Sort of tackle him. De Bruyne gets on the end of it, but obviously put him back of the net. That kind of pressing is so important. And the fact that Kev can do it still well, big, humongous. So I'm really pleased that actually, Kev can still do that at his age, obviously at his ability, obviously with his injuries. But it's a great sign. Now, on to Haaland, the main man, the 10th hat-trick for City. Haaland, the one that's got 7 hat-tricks. Was it in 68 games for City in the Premier League? It's ridiculous, man. Like 9, hat-trick again. 3 goals, one penalty, 1 great finish around the goalkeeper, and then one great strike outside the box. So this guy just has it all, man. I think he's getting better and better. I think his age, also playing for us a lot more consistently. He's getting better and better. And having that kind of player and having someone like that who can sort of develop their game, even how good they are, how talented they are, put the ball in the back of the net. It's so important. It's so important. I think. Obviously, the one thing everyone's also said about him, obviously, is in the finals, semi-finals, doesn't do it enough. And I do agree. There's one thing you see more of his game. It's definitely his finishing. Finishing. Finals, semi-finals, in the sort of certain games where we wish teams will like turn up, because sometimes with Haaland, he doesn't really sort of do it enough. Where like he doesn't, we actually need him to really sort of like step up and like make something out of nothing. He doesn't really do it often. But example we'll say is that 3rd goal was something I think he found something I think ball off of a ricochet, took aim, scored. I think that's so important because when we need him to do that, if it isn't going our way, it's going to be really. It's going to be really big, obviously, for us to sort of to have that going on. I mean, I agree. Sorry, it's a bit slow today. Don't worry. Ron, I agree. I think Doku will learn from Savio as well. I was going back to obviously the Savio and Doku points with the occasional comments. Yep, I think I'll learn from Savio. I think oh, come on. Sorry, people. It's slow today. I also think we should play Grealish and Savio against Arsenal and have a big game because we're not off as managers. Yes, I actually agree with that, because I think having too much else in the box isn't always going to be. It isn't always going to work for us. I mean, some games where we don't have that ability to do that. Where there's games where we need a bit of control on one side and a little bit of pace and skill on the other, and when we've got that going on and that kind of starts developing more as Pep trials out more new sort of ways of playing, it's going to be really big. But I agree. I would definitely like to see Grealish and Savio and Grealish and Doku. A kind of variety. I hope we see a bit more variety going forward. I think West Ham will be interested in one. I'm surprised that Pep didn't make any changes at all yesterday. I think it's the first time now. I think Martin said on the stream yesterday. The first time I think I've seen Pep make no changes. I think for a long time. Where he's kept the same team as the last game. So I do wonder, like, will that happen again, or will we see Rodri come back? Will we see Foden come back to the team? Will we see a bit more of a change up again of the team? So I'm very intrigued to see how next Saturday goes and where he decides to go next for this team. But what we're seeing so far, what we saw yesterday on the pitch, very, very, very good. And I think Haaland is improving as a player. I mean, he's going to be extremely scary in the future. Exactly. He will get better and better. I mean, we don't actually realise that. Like, overall, he's getting much more, on it in terms of like reading the game, getting better at knowing where the pass is going from. Obviously from Ken, from Savio and Doku, obviously he'll get better as well. He's really started to find that kind of like that level, that kind of IQ in his game, which we didn't have before. That's so important, because No, but people obviously comparing to Mbappe is ridiculous. Obviously, I think people do remember it's two different players on the pitch. Obviously, you play different ways of playing. But if Haaland's learning so much more, being this team under Pep, learning applying his trade, knowing when to run, knowing when to hold, that kind of knowledge is so important. Going on to obviously Europe again this year, trying to get back on Champions League from Real Madrid, having that kind of like improvement in him, hopefully against Rudiger, against Militao, where in the previous years obviously they kind of marched him out of the game. Can he sort of make an impact and sort of can sort of make an impression and really sort of irritate and annoy the centre backs? I said before like to find a way of making his own luck, making his own chances, because he doesn't do it. He doesn't really do it a lot, and when he does do it, it really work out. But we got to start seeing it a lot more from them. I'm sure we will. But so far so good. 4 goals, 2 games, ridiculous. Best start is it in the City so far in his 3rd year. Mental. And he looks so good. He looks so so physically fit as well. It's the first time since like the first year where like it's been matched with obviously his old self, his whole fitness and that. 4 goals in 2 games, a hat trick in the second one, a big Chelsea away for the first game. He really looks like he's back to his best. I can't see him against West Ham as well. Honestly, he's really sort of showing how good he really is as well. The subs, Stones, he did pretty well. He came on, did a good job, obviously, in the midfield. Obviously, playing there instead of Kovacic. He did a good job. I can't say much more than that, really. Obviously, Gundogan came back, obviously. Great to see him come on. Obviously, I wasn't there yesterday, unfortunately, but I'll be there at Brentford this month. I'll get to see him then. But I was impressed. I thought he did a really good job. He sort of did a very good mastering job, obviously. But I wouldn't say he blew everyone away, but there was never the idea. The idea was to control the game, make sure the game was won, and get the 3 points. But the fact is, they're pretty good moving on. Jack, obviously, first game of the season, obviously didn't play against Chelsea, didn't play against United, so I'm happy to see him come back on the pitch again. Hopefully, he's done with West Ham, and we'll see obviously a bit more of Jack this year and really sort of see where he's at this season, because I think this season's a big year for him, and we need to see him stepping up more. Now, obviously, McAtee and Nunes obviously came on, but they didn't really do anything, so I can't really comment. I mean, McAtee, these two particularly here, it's a big year for them because McAtee, Gundogan coming in, it's another midfielder that's coming in, same with Nunes. Like, these two aren't having much game time as it is, and we need to see it happen. These two need game time. Like, Nunes needs a chance to really improve himself this year and really step up this year. And same with McAtee. McAtee, this is a big year for McAtee. So, these two particularly have got a lot to prove. I know, obviously, hope they do it, but we'll see. Obviously, when I imagine the league will see both of them play, obviously will be good. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Obviously on the bench, years yet. So that's kind of obviously as it was. Obviously, that's obviously the end of the rating. So yeah, so overall, I'm pretty impressed with what I've seen. Do I think there's a lot to work on? I do, definitely. I think we've got to look at, obviously, I think overall the midfield won't be the same midfield. I think that's one thing I said before in previous streams, on Bevo's show, on other shows or spaces in the past. This won't be the same team that will play this season. Like, obviously, it's like Foden come back in, Sam Rodri, you got and Bob obviously come back as well. You got players coming back from injury, players coming back obviously from fitness or illness. There's still going to be a real change up of this team. I think what we've got to realise as well as a fan base is that there's going to be a blip. There's going to be a blip. Like, you can't expect this team not to have a blip. Like, I love to go on an Arsenal unbeaten run, for a whole season, but it's not going to happen. If it does, brilliant. But we've got to be real here. Like, there's still errors. This team, there's still things to work on from last year that we're still working on. I mean, the defensive errors being put on, like, and also first shot on target being serious, it still needs to be stopped, because the fact that keeps happening is ridiculous. Like, it's such a but it happens all the time. So we've got to see that really worked on and really improved this year, because if it doesn't really improve, it'll cost us in a big way. Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm panicking about it, but you got to accept that certain things need to be worked on for us to improve and get better, especially if you want to get that European trophy back from from Madrid. We've got where we're going wrong overall. But yesterday, what I saw was good going forward. Midfield obviously is getting there. I think Rico really showing how good he is. But what happens with him? Like, will he play more games this year? I hope he does. But that's what I mean. Like, there's still questions to be asked, questions to be answered. I think we'll know more after next week. After the window shuts, after West Ham away, we'll know. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where we go in that area. I mean, big up Dwight Cole and loads. We should deserve to start any games. He has no end product. Why does standard for him and everything else? Yeah, I actually do. Now, I do agree on this. Now, people will be concerned with why I do. I think for me, Jack's got to do a lot more this year. People are not going to like that because obviously they want to protect him, and I understand why. But we've got to be real here. Like, everyone here gets a fair cracking the whip. Sorry, I can't put the same there. But it's true. Jack needs more goals. He needs to get more. He needs to start providing more in these games. I think this year he will do, but it's true. I think Jack's really got to make a claim now, because especially with Savio coming in and Doku also coming in as well, and Bob coming into the team as well, obviously after injury, it's not guaranteed place for him anymore in this team. Like, he's got to work. He's got to find a way, of showing how good he is. I think that if it wasn't for that boy, obviously that that transfer fee would be as bad, but it's true. If Jack wants to be a regular starter on his team, he's got to do more going forward. He has to provide more goals, get more. Obviously, I'm not saying that DNA is like a real staple of how well you're doing on a pitch, but it does help. It does contribute to the team in us winning games, and Jack's got to do that. Jack's got to do more of that. He's got to get better at finishing, get more on the assists. If he's not doing that, then people will get on his back. Not me particularly, or Dwight obviously saying here, but it's more the fact that we need to see more from him in those areas, more goals, more assists to Haaland or whatever it may be. Hopefully, with Goodwin coming in this team, we'll have that back again. But we've got to see how it develops going forward. Obviously, Ryan, because as positioning, Pep was it's line a bit too much. Yeah, I know. I mean, I think the first goal was definitely a out position thing. I wouldn't say like it's a thing that's going to happen regularly, but it's got to be looked at, and it's got to be definitely analysed and obviously improved on, because we can't just just happen against someone who's better than us, because a better team will punish us more than that. But again, I know it's obviously hypothetical. Obviously, it's only game 2, so I can't sit here and go crazy or worry about it. I'm not worried about it at all. But you've got to look at these things and analyze them and be real about them, because at the end of the day, if we want to get better as a team, as a club, and get to more finals, more everything else, we've got to look at stuff and say, right, this here needs to be improved on. I'm not panicking. I'm not being overcritical. I'm just saying what I'm seeing. And Preston falls overall, and that's why I do. This is why I do these streams. That's why I'm doing this series, because on Twitter you can't. It's more out of context. You can't really sort of say what you mean, because one, you have limited character space to say what you mean, and two, it's people just say what people just see what you want to see, because you're being negative for no reason. This show will allow me to sort of give you my thoughts on a game, and show you where I think I should go in a certain direction, and where we actually need to improve. Am I a analytical genius? No, I'm just a random City fan analysing the games. But I will give you my point of view. Do you agree with it? Fine with me. I'm not going to say that most of I'm wrong anyway, but I still at least sort of give an opinion across, and let's see people like Ryan and obviously Dwight have to say about the games. It's more just for just the fans to have their say. That's what I think is always really important in these kind of shows. But yeah, I just think for me, overall, like where we're going, it's similar to last year, but I think this won't be the same system. I think the system's going to change quite a bit this season. I think it's going to be a lot different sort of playing style. We'll have to get used to also playing with a lot more direct wingers again, which obviously is going back to the 17-18 Centurion season again, which was a brilliant style football. Probably overall favourite overall for me style football we had under Pep. But it's gonna, but we have to go from last year and the year before to the new system, so it's gonna take time. So as fans, we've got to just be a bit patient with this. That it isn't going to happen overnight. We've got to get used to a new way. We've got to have to get used to a new style of play. I'm sure we will do, but I'm just patient. I just hope that we just as a overall like fan base just have to relax a little bit. Hopefully, we'll start seeing the system change a bit more as we go on. But I'm not going to be sitting here upset or angry if it doesn't happen and we lose a game or two. Because do you know what we'll do as well? We'll have a look at actually the fixtures going forward, and we'll sort of analyse where we think might be an issue. Because I think that's going to be important for us as well. Because obviously, this new system is obviously coming into play now. Obviously, so far it's been pretty good, but still a long way to go on that front. So I've got it up here. Just bear with me. I'm going to present. There we go. Bear with me. There we go. Right. So next game, West Ham away. I think it's a bit tough. I think West Ham obviously big patches. Look pretty good themselves. Obviously, a good team on the counter attack. Will be a very hard game next week. I think that'll be a real test. Chelsea was more of a test, but we obviously passed it with flying colours. This is more of a just everyone knew we would win anyway, but it's more to see how much of West Ham away won't be easy. I think it'll be definitely a tough one, but if we can obviously just end the first games, win, get run out of 9, go into the break on top, it'll be obviously good to sort of end, obviously get the mentality going before. Because when you look at that, we look going forward at the next 4 games. They're all hard games. West Ham away, tough. Brentford at home, getting back, tough. Arsenal, tough. Newcastle away, tough. It's not easy. I mean, after that, Fulham, Wolves, Southampton, but very easy after that. Probably Brighton, Tottenham, and City, but Tottenham and Liverpool. But these 4 games here are big. I think for me, and I want to get the chat's obviously opinion on this as well. These 4 games for me will definitely define where we are going into the winter period, because I know it's not winter yet anyway until at least November time, December time anyway. But I just find November is more of it anyway. But around these 4 games will give us a real indication of where we are, because I think defensively, tested wise, not so much. And obviously we've seen the goal as more of a test, so it's a bit of a goal that costs slip through the cracks. West Ham will be a test. You've got Tar, you've got Kudos, you've got Bowen, you've got Antonio, you've got Krug, you've got Socek as well, who's got goals, you've got Guy Rodriguez, Somerville. You've got main players, obviously, who West Ham have right now that are gelling more, obviously, as a new team themselves. So it's going to be a very interesting game, that one. Not clear cut, not straightforward. I think that one's going to be more of a get a win out of that. Even if it's 2-1 or you nick it 3-2, just try and get a win out of that. So we go into that break, all obviously on a good run of form, and obviously I'm looking really good, obviously, going forward. Brentford, when we get back, tough one, because Brentford obviously beat Palace 2-1, lost obviously Liverpool just now 2-0. So obviously Liverpool was always good, but obviously new manager bounce, that kind of stuff. But overall, I watched them play and it looked pretty good. Obviously, Henry, that's not the best anyway, but they have good players like Vista and Bomo who can do good amount of damage on the break. So we've got to be careful, obviously, of the 2 players. Arsenal, well, we know about Arsenal. Defensively, a very, very solid team. I'd say they're probably the best team defending so far. I mean, we're not far off ourselves. I think we're probably up there, or can be up there again, but we've got to get ourselves better in certain areas. But Arsenal, for me, are the best team in the league. Goal scoring, I wouldn't say they're the best, but I definitely would say they're dangerous on the break. So these 3 and 4 games will define our the start of our season. I think if we can get these 4 games with either 4 wins or going into Fulham, then I'm looking pretty good. Not overthinking it. I'm just kind of just looking at it's 4 difficult games, obviously including a Carabao Cup game. Obviously a Carabao Cup game here as well. So obviously that will obviously Champions League games, so there'll be like a few games here that will make up for it as well. So it's going to be a very, very busy, very busy, but start season. I think it'll be interesting to see where we are going to the time. And yeah, Ryan, I agree, mate. I think for me, Rodri's needed for West Ham. I've said before, I always say like just don't bring him back for Ipswich, bring him back for West Ham. West Ham will be a game we actually need him for, because we have no idea when obviously he'll be fully fit. I imagine he's probably not far off himself, but we be careful of his minutes. Obviously a good amount as well, Rico Lewis. So we've got a bit of variety in the midfield now, which is good. But if we're being realistic as well about where we are, I think will I start Rodri? Yes, I start him, bring the game later on, and then bring him off for a Gundogan later on, and sort of change a little bit at the back. That's what we're going for. But yeah, again, I think what we'll do, obviously, we'll analyse certain games a bit more later on. But I think if we're looking at it like that at the moment, I think that's kind of where we're at now. And we're definitely at a point in the season, sort of the season, where we just guess and make guesstimates of where we're at. Again, it's a game week 2, and the positives are Haaland's on fire. The attack is really going to refresh him, and it's nice to have that kind of refresh going into a very bit busy year. Because again, this is a very busy year. Champions League, League Cup, obviously how far we go. FA Cup, Premier League, and also a Club World Cup in July. June, July. So basically, we're done from July. So we've got almost 11 months of football, which is a long time. And it's not going to be easy this season. It's probably the most stressful mentally and physically season that we'll ever have. Now, do I think we'll be okay? Yeah. Hopefully we'll get someone else in this week, sort of get a bit more backup, obviously, in there, so it's a bit more backup in other areas. But I'm not expecting a major rehaul last week. No, I reckon one more player, maybe 2 if a deal is on. But along with some for Ashley's obviously through the door, that's what I hope we sort of get in, because the more help the better. I think, because if right now it's just, if we go in the season with the current team, I'll be happy, but a little bit more concerned the fact that we haven't got another striker to help Haaland now, especially if Haaland gets injury. Obviously, touch wood, but hopefully it'll be okay. I just hope that what we do is get another player through the door, a bit more variety, then get Echeverry, and obviously young Murray, who might go out to Girona. Hopefully he'll play. Not really out on him, but we'll see what happens in that front. But the positives are, if one more player in, I think we'll be okay. But again, we'll obviously analyse these games more closely, obviously, and a bit more thoroughly, going forward this season. These shows obviously won't be that long. I think I'll put it in a little bit, because it's not be a long breakdown. Obviously, I will do a bit more with guests. I think going forward, I will try to get guests on going forward. Obviously, just like I do this with. Depending on who obviously can get available, obviously on certain days. I know people are a bit busy of their lives, but I'm trying to do more streams, obviously, a bit more content, a bit more breakdowns of certain games, discuss more with other people, obviously, and more fans, get obviously people more involved in the conversation about the games, because I know obviously right now it's good to obviously have City back. Obviously, it's good to have a bit more discussion about where we're going, obviously, as a team, as a club. And it's good to obviously hear from you as well. I might do a call-in show soon. Now, I said before, what I'm going to do on last show, I will do a call-in show at some point. I've got to work out how it's going to work. I know it's quite simple, but for me, it's kind of a stream. I'm still new to it all. It starting in March. But once I set up, I will do a little call-in show, and we'll discuss, obviously, games, and obviously a bit more breakdown of the actual games and certain players. People want to sort of discuss a bit more. Okay, it's in the works. Once that's sorted out, I'll announce it. I'll do a proper schedule so people can sort of get an idea of when we're actually going live in a week. So it's a lot more content sort of coming out now on the channel. It's still to me particularly as well. So bear with me on it. So still working out the kinks of it, but I hope people are sort of hope you guys obviously appreciate it, and obviously that I'm trying to get more content out for you guys. But I reckon by around end this year should be a good spot to have content at a good level, obviously, and a bit more flowing, a bit better, and a bit more like graphics, a bit more stuff going on. But yeah, just bear with me on that front, but I will get there. But everyone who's tuning in to about 85 people on Sunday night, bank holiday obviously tomorrow. Big on everyone. Everyone else had a good weekend. Obviously, big result yesterday. I was against Ipswich. Big win. Hope we can sort of keep up going. Obviously, going to West Ham. I will do obviously on Tuesday the podcast. On Wednesday, Thursday, I'll be doing a show with Harry and also a special guest. Look up on Twitter. It will be coming soon. Got to work it out, but I will announce that in due course. Watch your space. And also, Ryan, a big up. I do appreciate that, man. Honestly, I mean, honestly, for me personally, this is still new to me. I'm not as confident as other people are on this space, but once I hang of it, I'll be fine. On my own, I'll be fine. When you're doing this, obviously, to start off with, it's not easy. It's a lot of like fiddling we got to do, like understanding a little bit more, like your confidence, obviously, on the camera, but onto the microphone. But obviously on your own, it's fine. But I enjoy doing it. I know people obviously watching and tuning in. I appreciate people who actually are tuning in on right now for this like small stream. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much, guys. I do appreciate all support and all the likes, comments, and that. It's always it goes a long way to me. So thank you very much, guys. Cheers for that. But to everyone who watched stream tonight, big up to all of you, and we'll see you guys on Tuesday for the next episode of the podcast. And yeah, Haaland hat trick again, 10th City hat trick. Bring on West Ham. Hopefully we can get another win then. Big up, Blues. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Take care.